We're just going to have a little chat today. I'm Kathleen Thomas. I'm LSS USA, also a co-owner of Road to Enlightenment. If you all would introduce yourselves, Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm co-owner of LSS, and I'm a medium for when we go out on investigations. I also help Martin with various other things that we've got going on. And I'm co-owner of Road to Enlightenment.
Oh, excuse me. I'm Bob Sharp. I'm currently finishing a biscuit off. It caught me off guard, something chronic there.
You've got Will laughing.
Yeah, good. That's all right. Yeah, it's a nice chocolate hobnob as well, so I was worth finishing. Yeah, I'm Bob Sharp. So we've lost the track now. Investigator and dabbler in a lot of electronics and stuff, because that side of it really interests me. I come from that side of it anyway, with all the different things in a musical background, but I was always interested in sound and stuff anyway, because I've never really told anybody, because I don't know if not many people, some people that are a bit older now. I was always interested when I was young with a guy called Jean-Michel Jarre, and it was just the way he made music from sounds and stuff that got me into everything. And obviously then I got into all of this, the paranormal side of it when I was younger and stuff, and that side of it, you know, this recording things and everything, and you know, people take photographs, and there's loads. I mean, there's loads we'll have to talk about at some point. You know, I don't know if anybody else has seen all the Kyrillian, I'm going to pronounce that wrong, photographs with the auras that some Russian bloke, I think he was, recorded. All of that, it's just amazing stuff that we don't touch on. It's the sort of thing that I've been to all that. Where I come from, that's my background, sort of thing. Not very well explained.
We've got Martin and Mort on tonight. So hello. Martin would be here, but he's lost his voice.
Hello, Martin.
Hello, Martin. I'm Mort. Hi, Mort.
Sadly, I think we've had something going round the group, because I lost my voice the other week, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to do any readings or anything.
Oh goodness, that wouldn't have been good.
That's the one thing
I
that
do enjoy hearing about your reading.
I get a lot of people wishing I'd lose my voice, but
So Bob, I have a question for you. You say you do the electronic part. What is it that you actually yourself take on the investigations when you join Martin and Wendy?
Usually, trying to capture anything. Let me start properly. It's really difficult because there were so many apps and gadgets out there, and after doing a bit of studying, I discovered that I never really thought about it before, but it's quite true. These modern mobile phones that you've got are so much more powerful than a lot of these geoports and things that you can buy. But obviously, then you have to. Well, I suppose it's still the same as if you're buying the hardware. You've got to trust the person that's making them. And it's taken me a while to find some stuff that I quite like and I want to get used to and everything, and this, that, and the other. Martin says EVP, he's right. And so I've sort of gotten into using certain pieces of equipment, but I do like it when somebody says, have you tried this or this app or something? Because I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but it does worry sometimes, the fact that it's so easy, especially with phones, to access it. So you've got, I know we've had this brief conversation just recently, you've got, you know, youngsters that dabbling in things that without any help, not saying they shouldn't, but dabbling into stuff that, you know, that they're not ready for and things. But it does, it's a whole thing that's opened up in the whole world. So I just recently got into using this app called the Seer app, and it uses what they call AI, generated AI, and instead of the you know the ones that give you the words. So what it uses is, I'm not going into it complicated. When the magnetic field's affected, it'll throw words at you, and they claim that the words are connected usually. And I have seen it. I have come across it. I've got recordings. I've got proof to a certain degree. Sort of words that are connected to conversations that you are having with spirits, ghosts, entities, whatever. But obviously, this new idea, this new AI generated art is amazing. I've had some unbelievable results whereby instead of showing the words, it actually shows you a picture. And as I was saying just before we came live, there's that whole Bolingbroke Castle where, for instance, Wendy, me and Will was hundreds of yards away. Wendy was telling Martin about a murder that had happened, that somebody had been surprised and this, that, and other stuff. I'm stood there, and this app's coming up with it's a bed covered in blood. It's pretty much at the same time, stuff like that. So it's really it's in its infancy, but that's pretty much what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like something that's good that'll give you the words, so it can throw words at you and maybe get some connections. Then maybe something like the Geoport that actually gives you can hear something, because it's supposed to go through radio waves and it cuts at like less than a second, and you shouldn't get sentences and full words. But I've got recordings that do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, cameras, pictures, anything, and anything I can do that would supports like mediums, because I feel that mediums get it's something I've never really thought about before, because when I can show you all this stuff, like when Wendy's doing that bit and she's telling us what's there, and you're thinking to yourself, how can I prove that? Because someone's just going to be sat there somewhere at home watching it going, actually we could be cobbling up a load of bloody rubbish. And that it's the one thing that stuck with me, that with mediums and stuff, got to be a way of supporting them to just say, do you know what? There's a lot more that they come with, what they're saying stuff. It's not just gobbledygook. I know people do say it and it's awful.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a very long-winded answer. Sorry.
But that
yeah, Martin, I'm thankful to get the shirt. Thank you. Sorry, Wendy. To respond to Martin real quick.
What was that? Oh, Wendy with uniform too. Well,
yeah.
Martin could have sat there without a voice and just waved at us. All right.
But yeah, it was nice to get the confirmation in the art form of what I was talking about.
Yeah, and the ball.
Yeah, Steve. You'll have to send me the name of that. I would like to have.
I will do.
I have my very first ever investigation that I will be attending personally this Saturday at Collingwood. So it would be nice to have something other than the equipment I already have.
Yeah, you can. I would only say that with the equipment, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful, because obviously, when you're doing it, if somebody's got one gadget that's requiring on a magnetic field, you've got a gadget that's requiring on another magnetic field. You need to stay so you don't affect each other and cause issues. You just got to remember your boundaries. And I had to Google things like how far your magnetometers and stuff work in your mobile phones, and God knows what, just so I could sort of like, when I'm running away when we're doing an investigation, I go, where's Bob going? I'm running away because I'm trying not to get it interfered with, not because anybody smells or anything, if you get what I mean.
Well,
I'll send you it.
Let's just say we did all have a little jump when that Coca-Cola bottle went down.
Oh, there's that.
Oh, I imagine.
Oh, I've isolated that. I'm telling you now. What we need to do is we need to push a bottle over, record it, and then because obviously we've only got it as audio and not video. But my God, honest to God, there's no way that bottle wasn't dropped from about, I don't know, I think I choked really badly. I tried with a bottle of water because there's no way I could do it with fizzy pop. and I did it with a 2-litre bottle of water, and I'm pretty sure I got the same results from about 2-3 feet. Proper. There's no way it was a bottle falling over. Absolutely no way, and I can prove that as well. So,
Can you hand me that bag right?
So, what's your favourite? Martin's asking, what's your favourite piece of equipment, Bob? Now that you've been out on some investigations.
My favourite piece of equipment? Probably me, or us. If you want about if you want about the whole realm of sphere of things, us, because we bounce. I like the way we bounce off each other. You know, when stuff happens and you've got that thing, and there seems to be that connection, and it all just seems to plug together, and you get those. You know, like the cat ball going off, and then there's like, hang on, it's not answering. It's not. Hang on, there's somebody here that it wants to talk to. What now? It's Wendy, because you can tell it to shut up and all sorts. Right, go with it, Wendy. Nobody had to say anything. It was just automatic. You know what I mean? So we're getting that sort of that team that understands it's time to back off because you can get it. Same as the rods with Martin doing the rods and everything. It was obvious. And I mean, I caught on to doing that sort of thing whereby when Martin or somebody, I've only seen Martin do the rods. It's get the answers, but concentrate on making sure you're videoing the hands, because that's all you're looking at is somebody. Because he's wangling his hands like, no, he's not at all. I've got a video.
And I think as well, it's the photographic evidence that's important. And I've got some camera stills that I'd love to show everybody, but they're on my camera and I cannot find the lead.
Yeah, that's okay. I wonder if it's what lead it is. Hello, I'm just trying to think now because we might put me on the spot. So I'm trying to think. Electronic wise, favourite piece of equipment would be, I think, the stuff that I've got on my phone that I can just use jump from one to another and record with. I'd love to have 2 phones or something with some bits on. I'm in the middle of trying something else out, which I'm not going to go into here anyway, and hopefully that'll work as well, which will be useful to tally up with the equipment. But
sorry. And Kathleen, what's your?
Well, I can't really say I have a favorite at the moment, as I'm new to.
You've not been on an investigation because you've been up to your old house.
Well, I didn't have any equipment, just myself.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
I've since acquired a video camera that can go live. I think that's going to be my favorite piece. Just saying, I've got the cat balls, I've got the dowsing rods, I've gotten a few things. Right now, I've been playing around with a night vision. It has infrared goggles for around my house.
Oh my God!
Because I have seen spirits here on the outside of my house, so I've been looking through those.
Wow.
That is so
haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, it's the one thing we can do with his night vision.
It allows you to take pictures as well. You can take moving pictures and everything with these goggles, so I'm really loving them at the moment.
Wow, that's
Although
amazing.
I've not caught anything yet.
Wow. Can you send me the link?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hold on. This is the equipment. I always put everything back in its original box.
Night vision.
Oh yeah, your camera's not in mirror mode, so it's backwards. No.
That won't help.
Upside down. You can put your camera in mirror mode.
They are quite nice.
Oh wow, Jesus Christ! I'm going to go all full geek here, but all you need now is a rifle and some of the proper equipment. You're going to look like snake from Metal
It'll be a little hard holding these and a rifle at the same time. They're a little bulky.
Oh no, you'll look like Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid games. Trust me. Anybody watching this?
The rabbits will be going missing in the neighbourhood.
Yeah, you're in the trees. You're in the trees watching it. My God, that is a serious piece of equipment. That is unbelievable.
And I love the fact you can take pictures with it.
Yeah.
And videos, short videos, but still you can,
Not
like,
quite.
if you're seeing something immediately and it's moving, you can actually capture that.
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's unbelievable. It makes me.
That's really the only thing I've had time to play with, other than the EMF reader and the spirit box.
Yeah. The spirit boxes are quite popular. They seem to do people get some good results with them, I think. I did at Bolingbroke Castle. I got some good results.
I like the things like the cat balls because it involves everyone in the group.
Yeah.
It's not just me that's seeing these answers.
Yeah, they're dead straightforward as well.
That makes it quite nice for people to actually see that there is something there.
Yeah, because and it's quite straightforward as well, because you get like at Bolingbroke Castle, you've got the stop now, and it stops. It's not like it's very there's a 2-minute moment of amazing coincidences. To be honest with you, if someone is going to say it's just a bunch of coincidences, you can give me the lottery numbers. Whenever we have this joke, but you can guess some lottery numbers, because if you're that lucky with coincidences, you're going to be lucky with lottery numbers. It's beyond a bit of coincidence. You are getting valid responses to the words and the things that you're saying, absolutely, and it's just straightforward. Flash, no flashing. I do like them a lot as well. Yeah.
So and I think that's something that would be good to have on public investigations.
Yeah.
The things that other people can see, so it's not just my intuition.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my purpose in trying to find the right equipment so that I can prove what I'm feeling and seeing and hearing.
I think sometimes people forget that I'm going to say this wrong, Wendy, so I don't mean this as an insult or anything, but as a trained, this is an awful way of saying it, as a trained medium, and you're not trained, I know, you are actually, well, you are trained, you've done it for years, you've got the experience, it's the thing that matters is the experience. But I'm sure you've told me before that people need to learn to trust their senses more, and just ordinary people who think they haven't got anything, because we've all got something, because we've had the conversation, we're not going into it again, the fight and flight and this, that, and the other stuff, we've all got those senses. So when when you're doing something or you're somewhere and suddenly you get the hair stand on the back of your head, on your head, and the thing, and you think, that's a bit weird, you trust that
definitely.
Yeah, no, you need to more. People need to be more aware.
And because you weren't very sure if those cat balls were going to work in that position, and I was like, no, put them there.
Yeah, you knew there was something definite, because there was that one, or that maybe that two, you seemed to be, because I was going to move the position, and you went, oh no, leave that then. I'm thinking, you know more than you're letting on. So Andrew was right. He was exactly right. So, yeah, which is good. Yeah, no, you had that intuition was there. That's what I mean. You've learned to trust your intuition and everything else.
The picture the video I showed you, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and find a picture of a bug on my lens.
Yeah.
And then
from the other night, I've got a piece of video as well. I'll find you it and I'll have to tag you with it and show you it, and you can tell same thing. And it looks just like it, and it is very easy to fall. But I'd have gone, I would have thought it was a bug, because it doesn't, it's a pity we can't show everybody here. But it doesn't, it's either right.
It doesn't at any point go solid.
Yeah, and it doesn't, because the thing is, that close to a camera, especially on night vision, they can sometimes get confused about what they're photographing. But obviously, that close to the camera, it often comes out shadowed and not solid. But it kind of doesn't seem to come in from anywhere. It goes down.
Oh, you talking about when that video that from Wendy's backyard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
you said that.
I
Yeah.
have. I have tried. I've looked at that, and looked at that video. It's
I've
something
seen.
else.
I've seen one like it. I'll find it and I'll tag you in it, Wendy, so you can have a look and see what I mean by. I get the feeling it's a
Yeah,
bug.
because I mean, I've had spiders and things come across.
Yeah.
So I get that there are bugs around, and I've had moths
Yeah.
and whatever. But that is the first time that I've had something like that.
Like that call, yeah. It is. I have got to admit, it's very odd, and don't get me wrong. I'm not disputing anything. Because
And
at
I've
first,
had something
yeah,
like
I
that
watched it quite a lot.
happen.
Yeah.
I've
Sorry,
had
say it
that
again.
happen on the front camera.
Yeah. Is
Where
that
it's
the
like a
is that the
mist.
backyard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fields out over my head.
Is that out to where your horses and everything are? If you don't mind
No,
me
no,
saying that.
no. My horses are miles away.
Oh, I thought there was with you where you are. They're not. So is that so behind you is fields and everything?
Yeah, just masses of fields. I
It
don't
is
know if
odd.
you
It's very
remember.
odd.
Do you remember about, was it 2 years ago that haystacks went up?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I live just down from there.
Oh right. Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, because there was loads of fire engines and everything, wasn't there?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
bills that went up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's an interesting bit of video. I know because I'm going to say just because I said that doesn't mean a thing because like other people will look at it and go, "That's not a bug." This that, and the other. But that's the whole point, though, is we should be able to look at it, all of us, and go, "Well, I think it's that. I think it's that. I think it's that," and put it together. It's not. Oh, well, I've decided it's a bug and that's it. Don't get me wrong, because I'm just throwing me two pennyworth in as I look at it, sort of thing. I mean. It's something like UFO pictures where I've looked at and I've thought to myself, and then you look at others and you think, that's far too clear. And it's CGI, do you know what I mean? So it is a difficult one. But the fact that you got something, also, just to be devil's advocate with my own idea of that, it's odd you'd get a bug and you've not had more bugs. If you get what I mean, because
Yeah.
I've got this right. Your camera should have a little light on it or something that's there all the time. You know, when it's on,
Yeah.
which would attract a lot. We should attract bugs because they tend to be attracted to light, even little ones. That's how it works. So you do thinking, because I like to play devil's advocate with stuff. You see, to myself, both sides. You'd have thought you'd have had more pictures, video.
Yeah,
So
and
there
I've
is that as
not.
well. Yeah.
I've had the odd spider and things like that because these
Spider was
cameras.
probably a bit obvious. I'm guessing when you got the spider, it was quite obvious. It was a spider.
And I've had moths as well because when we first got them, it was a little bit too sensitive, so we put it to detect humans only.
Yeah, because you can't you? Because some of these newer ones, I know it's night vision, but you can get them to detect faces or the proper shapes and everything.
Yeah,
so clever. Actually, to be fair, on the flip side, it's actually quite scary technology. But yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine it dinging and there was someone standing in the front of your camera? I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, it does. It is a very but again, like with Martin's question, cameras are really good one because the number of I've seen loads of pictures where I know people go, oh, when I was in the room there was nothing, but then they'll look at a picture later on of it and there's something there. I've seen loads of them and this, that, and the other and stuff, and I know. Like I said to you before, you take stuff at face value and stuff because you know what you've seen yourself or felt yourself. So you can't just dismiss somebody else, which is what, like I say, as I've been feeling it's a bug, but I'd still wouldn't dismiss it. Absolutely not. Because like I say, my question would be, it's a bit odd that it's you've just had it and that's it. You've never had more bugs attracted to. So.
Well, That's much like what you were just talking about. That's exactly like at my old house.
Yeah.
It's haunted. I had pictures that were I took them back to back. Some of them ended up being black and white, which I never did anything to change it.
Yeah.
Some of them you can see char wood, but in another picture, in the same picture, it was taken literally a second before that. There's nothing charred, nothing burnt.
Yeah.
Um, so
I think
yeah,
I was there
I
for
like to
that
take
one.
several pictures because sometimes you can catch things.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb, actually.
Like
Never take just one picture. Always take a few.
I always take one.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree with you. I think it's a good scheme of work that you sort of things that we should get into and get used to doing anyway as a team. Because apart from just supporting each other when you realise something is going on or somebody's got the whole whatever's going on, it's you. I think it's just something we'll get with practice, like we discussed about the fact that we've not been going out enough on investigation, so we wanted to start doing it. And I mean, first one we do, Bolingbroke Castle, we get there, we start to set up, and things just kicked off. That was it. It was
We
just
didn't even get a chance really to get anything really set up properly.
no, but it's a good testament to how we've sort of got ideas about what we know, what we're doing, by the way that
Yeah,
we managed to come together to do anything and get everything. I mean, Will's silent but deadly, simple as he's on, he's gone, and he's like, yeah, well, I've got it, and I know what I'm doing because I'm looking around and I'm thinking, let me make sure I know where you are, 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 and Will's always the hardest to find. It's like playing bloody Wales. Where's Wally with him? It's like, I'm for the gadget.
It's like he turns up in the most mysterious places.
It's like an episode of Scooby-Doo. Will did it. Yeah. Yeah, but no, that's the thing. I like that because he's very unassuming. So he's there in the background getting his stuff and, backing everything up and looking at everything. Yeah, oh, hello.
We've lost Kathleen.
Yeah. So, no, I like that because I'm far too loud and a bit forward sometimes, but I suppose it does attract.
But that's what it needs. It doesn't need silence and
yeah. Sometimes you need to be serious, but sometimes you don't, do you? Because you need the
because it's our downtime as well. It's meant to be something that we enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it as well, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Disappearing act there, Kathleen just left us.
Nipped off for a sandwich. Doing a will. She's trying to find out if she can do a will. Just disappear.
Yeah.
Up behind. I do sometimes occasionally when we're doing it, we're doing a lot of investigation and stuff, and then just like, where's Will? And we're like, I'm here. And then just
yeah. I think yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's a testament to what we would. I think it's a good team that you've got there. I'm quite boisterous. I get excited when good happens. But hell, yeah. And then we've got you with your, with your intuitions and everything. I'm not going to knock with Martin comes on and goes, "Oh, what about me with that?" It's quite interesting that because I'm not how I feel about this. I'm not really said anything yet because I need. This is another thing about doing more investigations. There's a thing. Not saying anything yet. There's a thing when you're both together. That's all I'm going to say. There's a thing. Not saying it's good, not bad or anything. There's a thing, but I need to see it in motion more, and then I've got my thinking caps there. It's just interesting, but don't take it as
I'd like to do the Esty method where you put on the noise cancelling earphones.
Yeah.
And ask questions. I'd love to do that.
Oh yeah, when you tell us what you get or what you get, that what, that's a really good idea. So I don't know what anybody's feelings are about going back at some point to Bolingbroke, because we had such an amazing thing there, but and obviously try to go there.
Yeah, Will's for that.
Yeah, we ought to go back with a set agenda and try and walk into that ruin with an idea of what we want to do, and sort of, because I thought about it afterwards. You know, that area that's had that lower area that Martin had the I can never say it, the transmedium. His transmediumship thing was quite, you know, it went, well, not dangerous, but it was. We could do with sort of like the cat balls work quite well, so we've got a few of them. We could do with them just in different places, just so we can see if we get something, depending how they move. Obviously, put the one back where it was, because it was obviously quite an important area. Things like that, do you know what I mean? And look at it before we go and attack it. Honestly, a little bit like they used to do in the war when they got ready to. When are you guys going? When are you guys going home again? Who's not joining?
So when are you coming with us, Martin?
Well,
Right.
Well, I'm not saying that on live, depending afterwards. I will tell you if we've got a few minutes before we go afterwards. It's something to tell you, Wendy. But yeah, question mark. Well, if the question mark's what I said, he's put, when are you guys going? He's not joining us. He is. He's not getting out of it. But yeah.
No, he's not. He's definitely coming.
Do you all have anything scheduled?
No, really.
No.
We just, when we've all got time.
Right.
Quite difficult with all our different jobs as a Bob Wendy. Yeah. Don't know. He's lost me. I know he can't talk, but he can type. Makes sense, Martin. Come on.
I think he was just asking if either one of you were had any investigations or when you was going to go next.
Yeah, we've got obviously the 9th of June. Excited for that. So that's
definitely. We've got a paranormal investigation where it's never been investigated.
No.
But we know that there's stuff
that's
there.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, when I went and joined the guys when they were doing the my brain's just gone now, when they were doing the stall event day, and I got a chance to, especially later on with Will again, a little zooming wander around, and he got we're not saying too much. He got an amazing piece of evidence. I got some stuff when I went up there on my own. And I had some conversations with the people that work there and got some interesting insights into things that I've not discussed and I won't discuss with anybody. And you know what I mean? Well, I would with Will, but the other guy's not, because it's that thing, you know, that base reading, the idea of everything. So, yeah.
I like going in not knowing anything.
Yeah, going in blind.
Yeah.
Bolingbroke Castle, I still haven't got much of an idea about the place.
We're going to have Craig Ahern, John, and David Espinoza coming on live, and Andy Jones and Gary Fields is coming to the investigation.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So it's going to be good, and I'll see if I can dial you in, Kathleen.
Yeah, Craig, John, and David are coming via the internet, aren't they? On to talk to us and that. And Andy and Gary are actually coming live there, so it'll be interesting. What with Martin, Wendy?
We've got a camera that I normally use for when Emma was out riding, and I put it on her hat.
Yeah.
So I've got one of those, so I might bring that along and just keep it running the whole time.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's interesting. Having been there as well, apart from the other location that's in there, Will will know what I'm talking about because we went there. He's lost mine. He's lost me there a bit. He's lost my track. Yeah, I know a good sort of location for we could do with a camera setting up. Just given, we could do with a couple of cameras, because I know one place that we could do with a camera set up, and then I could think of another place we could do with a camera that'll be a little bit more with people about, so we could look at the footage. And then I really, really would look to the place upstairs, try and set a camera up there because of, I don't know if Willie can remember what
I have got 2 cameras.
Yeah, so we might be able to set a couple up and, you know, see what we can capture, because it always seems to be them moments that you don't get. You know, like when you watch the investigations I see people doing on from when they post them to YouTube and stuff, and you get that. You know, we set a camera up here and we didn't get nothing because we sat in a bedroom somewhere, but the camera in the corridor, you get something walk past because
Yeah.
there. And they're the important stuff. It's that background. Yeah.
But it's like, I was watching this YouTube channel today, and these lads, they're young lads, but they're quite serious about it. And they put a ball at the top of the stairs, and they were jumping on it, the stairs, and it wasn't moving. They literally went out the door, and this ball came banging down the stairs, and it was like, seriously, we've just been there.
Yeah.
And we missed it, but luckily they managed to get it on camera.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Wendy.
It's nice to see the younger people coming up.
Yeah.
Right.
That
I'm taking
have
it
an
seriously.
interest in it.
Taking it seriously is the important thing, isn't it?
I mean, there's too many kids who are seeing a lot of this Ouija board. So
I'm guessing Craig must be on. I've just seen what mine's
Hello, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah. He must have heard his name mentioned across the Atlantic.
Must have. That's the ESP.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it's a bit like at the moment, I know that there's like my husband tonight, he said he was coming to Spook Night, and a popular internet service said it was hate speech.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, see, there's been a lot of things going on Facebook lately. I mean, lots of accounts, including mine, was stolen. And you know, you would think they would have better ways to keep people from stealing accounts. But like people getting banned and stopped from doing lives because they're being reported as inappropriate or what have you.
I get the feeling that there's a faction who don't like the paranormal. Yeah. And
you know, and it's okay not to like paranormal. I mean, there's lots of things we probably don't like that they do. I mean, I'm just saying, for instance, but we don't go stopping them from doing their things. I think as long as there's no profanity and no nudity, that people should be able to talk about whatever they wish.
I'm not sure about profanity, especially when bottles get dropped on.
Yeah,
I've heard that bit several times over. Don't you worry about it. Train spotting. What on earth? Martin seems to have a conversation with himself here. I think I get what he's on about though.
But poor Will, I mean, if you've ever met Will, he's the most laid back person.
Yeah.
To then be told that he's had this warning from Facebook for hate speech.
Right.
It's madness.
I couldn't imagine Will saying anything bad.
More control.
Right.
Well, it's more control stuff, isn't it? Because let's face it, I mean, we seem to be, I'm going to have to be really careful with it here, but we seem to live in a world where there's certain groups of individuals and factions and stuff seem to be able to say what they want, but you can have a seriously
Mm.
different opinion, but you're not allowed to say it, and it's not right. It's totally and utterly not right, because I mean, it's like, I remember the thing with J.K. Rowling, and I thought, do you know what? I didn't actually know what she said. So I looked at it and I went, well, I'll not say, because I probably shouldn't, so I won't. But I thought to myself, okay, but she's, she's a person who's, well, I suppose you could, some people would say abusing that position of power, that she's got, because people listen to her and that, saying what she said. But then you've got these other people that are saying, no, you're wrong, and she should be
able to have
cancelled,
free
struck
speech.
off or whatever. And that's not right. Nobody should have that power. We've all got opinions. I know some of them are quite strong, but we've all got these opinions of different things.
I
Like
mean,
you said about the whole thing, I can't, I'm going to be horrible, I can't stand football, but I don't want it banned. I don't want it,
Right.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
and
I've been in a situation like that, where I've had what would you call it? Where an intervention, let's say.
Yeah.
And I've had people praying for me, and I've had people singing hymns, and I've had, you must convert. Yeah.
I've just read
the
what
Grim Reaper at the coronation.
Yeah. There was a figure that went from one side to the other side, and it looked, they had a staff and the long hooded.
But nobody seems to be able to figure out who it was, do they, or something?
Yeah, I saw it. It does look like a Grim Reaper.
It does, yeah. The thing is, as well, is like that you actually, Martin's reminded me of something there. I only saw it because it came up on my YouTube news the night afterwards, but some people, quite rightly, I don't think anybody went and protested to cause trouble, but freedom of speech in this country, people went and said, there were people who don't believe in the royal family, they believe it's a drain on society's money and with everything the way it is. Some people absolutely adore them. There's two sides to it, and everybody should have their say. So some people they went with placards and stuff, and they went to have a proper, but they didn't go to cause trouble and stuff. But the police met the vans and arrested about 60 people, and kept them for about 16 hours so they couldn't protest. And that's disgusting, because they've got a right to say what they say. They don't agree. If they don't agree, they don't agree. As long as they're not causing trouble and they're not hurting somebody else physically, and this, I don't see why. It's not right.
Yeah.
It should be silenced.
I do get why
right, Martin.
we need to protest, because our freedom of speech is getting taken away from us.
That's what Martin says, yeah. Because, and like you say, with the whole thing about obviously going back, because with that circle jerking round, it is a thing, because you just make you wonder how long it is before somebody takes a complete offence at the paranormal stuff, and it's suddenly being pulled, like I say, being pulled up on Facebook and Twitter and other.
The sad part about it is, it's not just paranormal.
Yeah,
it's everything. People are so sensitive.
Yeah,
to so many things.
Yeah,
I know a lady I work with. She's asked me lots of questions. She's Christian faith. She's very devout. The right word, very devout, and that. And she says, we do what we do and stuff. She just don't want anything. I get on really well. I've known the lady for years, and she says, I just don't want nothing to happen to you, Bob, because I come from a side of a belief that says you're not supposed to meddle with all this stuff, and there's a reason why you don't do it and stuff. But do you know what? And I mean, I always heed her words, though. Always, all the things that she says to me rings in my ear. And if I always wanted to know something about just something that might tick with something, an investigation or something, and I know it's sort of Bible related, and she's the lady I'd ask, and I know she'd answer me and she'd tell me. She wouldn't be you know what I mean? She won't go, well, I'm not telling you because I know it's got something to do with your paranormal investigations and stuff. She would genuinely help, which is really, really nice and stuff. So I get that side of it as well, because I have actually said to her, what is it? Explain to me. It's a long time since I've read the Bible, and it's probably that bastardized now. I probably shouldn't have.
I've read some parts because of obviously what I do,
Yeah.
and it's meant to be a sin.
Yeah, I read through it because there's quite a lot of stuff
I
in
grew
there.
up with that being said as well.
Yeah.
But here's my point. If we were not meant to do it, and if the Bible says we are not supposed to
I know what he's going to say, yeah.
speak with spirits and
Yeah.
all this, then why are we able to see and hear them?
Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
we not have that ability?
Yeah.
If
Let's
it's
go one further, right, and say Jesus could heal people.
Yeah.
and that's my other point.
Jesus talked
It's the spirit. Yes, he did. That's
Yes.
right.
Okay. Well, Jesus is not here on the physical form, but yet we pray to him. I'm a Christian. I'll be the first to say I pray to him, but I also talk to spirits.
Well, somebody brought Jesus back
What's
from the
the
dead,
difference?
Martin, to be fair. Or Jesus brought himself back from the dead.
See,
So,
I just feel there's a whole lot of unanswered questions when it comes to
oh, the Holy Trinity. I know a lady who worries about that sort of thing. I don't know if she's watching tonight. She often watches without really commenting. There's a Facebook user without a name, but I can't get on the link on my phone, guys.
right, Martin.
If you can see it, Wendy, so many messages.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
No, yeah, because of the way.
I mean, I don't usually talk on the subject of religion, but you all brought it up, so you know I'm gonna have to say
You should be
I
able
don't
to.
see why we would be able to do it if it was intended for us to.
Yeah, we should be able to talk about it though, because like this is the thing, like we were saying before about hate speech as well. You would get some people would say it's hate speech because of you sort of being blasphemous and this, that, and the other, but we're not. And I totally agree.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't understand how. If I've read the parts that tell you you're not supposed to dabble in this sort of thing and this, that, and the other, but
yeah, but have you read the parts where it's a sin to put 2 or 3 different fabrics together?
Yeah.
You're only meant to wear
I
one
haven't
fabric.
read that.
Yeah.
So
Somehow
if that's the case, even the priests and everything are going against the Bible.
And just to be, I'm not saying this just to be controversial, but we're talking about the Bible and Christianity here, but it's not the only faith, and it's not the oldest religion anyway. Because there were
every religion has a different variation.
Yeah.
No two religions believe or follow the same thing, and I know that because I've tried many different religions. I was Christian and Catholic.
Yeah.
I've been to Baptist church. I've been to Methodists. As a child, I went through foster homes, and this is the reason why I went to so many different denominations.
Yeah.
But you know, you find so many things that are different with each one.
Yeah, Martin's right.
The Bible teaches
You're
us.
right.
Go on, Wendy. You're going to read that.
The Bible teaches very clearly that there are indeed spirit beings who can connect with and appear in our physical world.
And there must be reasons why they do. For me, because we're talking about the Bible, and I don't want anybody watching. I don't want anybody. Yeah, oh my God, it's very up on it. I don't want anybody to think that we're just picking on the Bible. But
Oh no.
What gets me, the thing that most interested me to start with the Bible wasn't the whole, wasn't the sort of like the strictly paranormal side of it. It was a very, very nice old gentleman once said to me when I was younger, when he realised I was into UFOs, he said, maybe you should read the story of Ezekiel. So I did. And I'm telling you now, if that's not a UFO sighting, description of a UFO sighting from somebody who can only speak in words, I don't know what it is. The circle of thing with the fire coming down and the rest of it, but then there's also, when it comes to Ezekiel, there's the bits that were missing where he's taken away and he's taken off somewhere to be taught I think scriptures is the wrong word, and he comes back years later. But it doesn't tell you that bit. It's almost like one of those Hollywood movie things. But they miss that bit out because they know they're going to make another film. And it's only until they find, I think I might get this wrong, so somebody, I don't know if anybody can get me this right here. They did eventually find I think, the writings that tell the story of what happened to Ezekiel when he was gone. And you look at it, and you know, as more modern as we understand the world differently and maybe more a bit better, you look at it, when you read the stuff, I've read it, and it's like he was taken off to another planet. And I know it sounds crackers, but I'm sorry. But yeah, and there are actually quite a lot of instances in the Bible of what could be UFO encounters and stuff, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's interpretation. That's the thing. It's how we all interpret it.
Right. And then you have like visions, your prophets.
Yeah.
They also talk about in the Bible.
Yeah, how can and I know a lot of people would say, especially coming from that side of it, like Wendy being a witch, that's wrong. How can that be wrong? How can that something like that be wrong? Yet it does talk about prophets and what? Hang on a minute.
And they were highly esteemed.
Yeah, talk about contradiction. Yeah, totally.
To go to a medium is to commune with the devil.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yes, I won't go that far and say that.
Sadly, there's people that will take it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
And I've had that, and it's not nice. It is quite scary when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And I also got a book given to me from witchcraft to Christianity.
Hmm.
It was a scary time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But Mr. Hollins just laughed.
Was it a nervous laugh?
It was a full-on laugh.
Yeah. For me, I would never doubt anybody's religion. No, that's wrong. I would never doubt anybody's faith. It's the same as the other stuff because people have
right.
People get this.
We have our faith. We have what we believe in. Everybody is entitled to what they believe in.
Yeah, and it don't feel like you are anymore. Going back to,
and they shouldn't be judged for their beliefs either.
No,
it's wrong.
Spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, I am who I am, and I can't change that. I was born with this.
No. And again,
again, that takes me to when God created us, and everything He created us to do was pre-planned before we were born. So He already knows this about us. He made us that way. Free decision.
Yeah.
You can make up your own minds and do what you want to do.
I was going to say, if everything's decided, well, no, I've heard this what you just said. If everything's predetermined, surely we haven't got choice. Then I'm not sure. How does everybody feel about that?
I think
that's one of the many things I question.
Yeah.
I think I
know what I was taught growing up.
Hang on, sorry, ladies. I didn't get you both spoke.
Go ahead, Wendy.
I think we can agree to many things before we come down here. And then it's up to us how we deal with that through life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because there were loads of, do you know, there's a
All
gentleman.
I'm saying, it must have been a fantastic after party
Yeah,
after I agreed to things.
there's a gentleman that I work with, and he once said to me, he's ever such a clever chap. He once said to me, because he decided he wanted to be christened and stuff, so he got christened and everything. And he sometimes talks to me in questions his faith and stuff, and I say, you're only asking questions that are natural. It's just natural as a person to ask the questions, and if I can answer them, I will, and if I can't, I'll help you do them. But he did once say to me, yeah, Martin does know. He did once say to me, what I don't understand is, Bob, is that if I meant to look at the passage, I've never looked at the passage properly, so I need to look at it just to see if it is written as is. But he said, when I was reading the Bible, I noticed in there somewhere it says, when you read a bit of it, it says that it doesn't matter what you do, if you go to the kingdom of God and it's not the gates, it's whatever it is, and you can ask for forgiveness, God will allow you into heaven. And he said to me, but then surely that means that horrible people who've done really, really nasty things in the world, they can just get into heaven and it's okay, because if they ask for forgiveness when they get there, they'll be forgiven. And I said, I need to look at that, but if that's true, yes. And I know it's a really difficult pill to swallow, but if that's how one faith believes it, that's how they believe it. And that is quite a difficult concept to understand, that no matter what people do in life, and when if they reach heaven, if that's how it works, that they say, please forgive me, I know I did wrong, and this, that, and the other, and they go and they're allowed into heaven. It's a difficult pill for people to swallow if it's true.
I think you have
I don't
to
think
go
it's
back
quite literal.
over your
I
life.
can't really go into too much detail with this chat, but the thing is, what you were saying, Wendy, about the whole deciding, what you do before and then how you are on earth and this, that, and the other and stuff. It makes for an interesting, thought, concept and everything else and stuff.
Well, we've actually talked quite a while. We're nearly at an hour already.
Oh, my, that's gone really quick.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it also says in the Bible, and I will quote it, thou shalt not judge.
Yeah, it does. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
And how you judge others is how you will be judged.
Yeah.
On reckoning day.
Yeah.
Well, the reckoning day is my own words, but you know what I mean.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
So, we should all love each other and accept each other for who we are and our beliefs. We shouldn't try to tear each other down. And that's what's wrong with society today.
It is. That's right. It is.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
100%.
We probably ought to get ready to wrap up, Wendy, with nearly an hour.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Something the stuff that we go through, and you think you've just touched on a subject, and you don't realise about the subject. You think, "Oh my God, where did that all come from?" So,
right.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to have a discussion and work out the sort of things that we want to talk about, because it just.
Well, next
right.
week,
I like that we don't work it out. We just do it.
Oh my God, man. Yeah,
it's not,
I suppose you're right. Actually,
our lives are on the spot. They're not pre-planned.
Martin said, Jesus thought for a moment and then replied, he that is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone at her. The people crowded around him were so touched by their own conscience that they departed. When Jesus found himself alone with the woman, he asked her who were her accusers.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Apart from on the... Oh, go on, sorry, Wendy.
That's us. Oh, it's not me to wrap it up tonight. It's Kathleen. It's Kathleen's turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wendy's been leading so much, I've just got out of the habit of doing it.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining us. And if we have offended anyone, that was not our intentions. I hope you have a lovely evening.
Yeah.
And come back and see us again. We do have some investigations coming up. Well, I do. In Toledo, Ohio, I'll be joining Eclipse Paranormal for that investigation, and another investigation on June 24th at the Mansfield Prison.
Oh,
Wow.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah, I
have,
went there before. This one's an overnight, so I'm like
Yeah.
totally excited.
Martin's like, no, don't go. Oh no, just because you can't talk.
but yeah, we've got an investigation on the 9th of June.
Yeah.
It's
Looking
in
forward to that.
Scunthorpe. We still have a few tickets available, but they will be going quite quickly. There's
Yeah,
been a lot of interest.
there's still tickets being sold. This is for Collingwood Art Center. It's for domestic violence is where the money will be going for that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is really good. Yeah.
You'll have to dial us in on your for
All
it.
right. Hopefully. But I'm excited for it, and I hope you all tune in next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we've got Haunted Dolls next week.
Are we back to
16th,
Tuesday again?
16th is the Haunted Dolls, and
Oh,
that's
right.
going to be
I'm a little
with
bit early.
Lisa Marie. And I'm still working on some. I had some scheduled when my Facebook was stolen. We sort of lost all contacts with all my contacts. So we're having to start from scratch.
So it's Haunted Dolls next Tuesday. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it's actually a week ahead of time. It's the following week, not next week, but the following.
Oh, afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
But Kathleen can come on and show us all her evidence she caught.
23rd.
Oh, definitely. We're going to go over evidence next week of everything that I found at the Collingwood Art Center.
And maybe we can get together with Martin and Will and we can go for an investigation this weekend.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I'd like to be able to. It would have to be at Sunday because of I'm working Saturday night, which is a pity. I don't mind the working the Saturday night, but it's a pity because I think it'd have been nice to have done something. So yeah, but Sunday night, I mean, it's Monday morning, but it doesn't matter. We're never that late, so I'll have to have a discussion with you and Martin, obviously.
Yeah.
See what way. There might be something else close in the future anyway, but I'm not. I don't want to say on live. I'll wait till we finish.
Yeah.
And then something Wendy before I go to bed.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So it's been lovely talking to everyone, and I hope you will join us next week.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you as always.
And we'll see you then. Night.
Good night. Good night.